A lot of entrepreneurs are trying to heal childhood wounds through their business. They push harder, they work longer, and they chase validation through success. But the truth is, your business cannot replace what you needed growing up. The healing work comes from something different. It comes from learning how to reparent yourself. Today, we're talking about the final stage of healing attachment wounds as an entrepreneur and how reparenting helps you move towards secure attachment. In the last video, we talked about grief and how attachment wounds created a type of loss. What many people misunderstand about the grief cycle is the stage of acceptance. Acceptance does not mean that grief disappears. It does not mean that you'll never feel sad again. You will still experience moments where the memories will come back. A song, a life milestone, a holiday, or even watching someone else experience the kind of support you wish that you had. Those moments can bring up sadness or anger again. That does not mean that you have failed in your healing. It simply means that the experience still matters to you and that it may always matter to you, and that's okay. Processing grief means that you can acknowledge what happened, accept that it affected you, and still recognize your ability to move forward. One of the most difficult parts about attachment work is the grieving relationship you needed but didn't have. Even if your relationship with your parent is better today, you may still carry grief from the moments that they were not present during the most important stages of your development. Children depend on their caregivers for emotional safety, guidance, and connection. When those needs have not been met, something meaningful is lost. And even when reconciliation happens later in life, that doesn't remove the need to process your experience. Forgiveness and reconciliation should not override the need to acknowledge your own feelings. Processing grief helps affirm something very important. Your experience, it mattered. You were not too sensitive, you were not asking for too much, and your needs were real. A couple videos back in this series, I talked about an idea that I often teach to clients. A need is still a need. Just because a need is not met, it doesn't mean that it just disappears. I often compare this to food. Your body needs nutrition. If food is not available at a certain moment, that doesn't mean that you stop needing food just because it's not available. The need still remains. Attachment needs work the same way. When a caregiver were unable to meet your needs, we often grow into adulthood, still looking to have them fulfilled in some way. Sometimes we search for validations in romantic relationships. Sometimes we search for it in friendships. And sometimes for entrepreneurs, we search for it in our business. We chase recognition, success, approval, hoping that we can finally quiet that belief that we're not quite good enough. But achievement cannot fully heal an attachment wound. That is where reparenting becomes very important. So reparenting is the process of learning how to meet those emotional needs that were overlooked earlier in life. It is not about recreating your childhood exactly. You can't go back and change anything that has already happened. But what you can begin to understand is what those experiences represented. Often the needs were really about a specific event. It was really about feeling seen, feeling supported, feeling safe, feeling encouraged, and feeling like we actually mattered. Reparenting is about learning how to provide those experiences for yourself. For many people, this starts as a simple practice, allowing yourself to acknowledge emotions instead of just dismissing them. You can do this by journaling about what you feel, opening up to someone that you trust instead of isolating, or taking care of yourself in small, nurturing ways when you start to feel really overwhelmed. Speaking to yourself with compassion rather than with constant criticism. These are going to be practices that slowly build something many people with attachment wounds struggle with: self-trust. Entrepreneurs are often very good at showing up for other people. Your business likely exists because you want to serve others in some way. You think about how to support your clients, customers, or even your community. But here's a question worth asking. Are you as thoughtful with yourself as you are with the people that you serve? What habits do you have that show care and consideration for yourself? How do you support yourself when things are difficult in your business? How do you celebrate yourself when something goes well? Learning how to meet your own needs allow you to stop using your business as a way to prove your worth. Instead, your business gets to become an extension of who you already are. When you begin grieving the past and meeting your needs in the present, something powerful begins to happen. You start to develop secure attachment. Secure relationships are built through several key elements. So there's going to be collaboration, both people contributing to the relationship. There's communication. People feel safe expressing what they feel and need. Then there's repair. At some point, we're all going to have a disagreement, and when that happens, are we willing to restore connection? Consistency. We need expectation and commitment to remain stable over time. When entrepreneurs develop secure attachment, it changes how they show up in business. They are more confident setting boundaries. They communicate expectations clearly. They collaborate without constant fear of competition, and they ask for help when their business grows. For me setting boundaries in business was a game changer. A big part of that for me was identifying the hours that I did want to work and sticking to that. Not compromising on that because I could use the extra money or because I could use even the extra experience. Once I was able to set those boundaries that these are my hours, it made it really easy for me to establish how I could come up with skills and the ability to communicate that to other people, and being okay if it just didn't work for other people, because I didn't need it to work for everyone. I just needed it to work for enough people to fill my own caseload. And what didn't work for me, here's some other therapists that I can refer you to. So healing attachment wounds does not mean pretending that the past did not happen. It means acknowledging it, grieving what was lost, and choosing how you want to care for yourself moving forward. When you learn how to meet your own needs, you stop asking your business to fix what happened in the past. Your business becomes something healthier, something intentional, and something aligned with the person you are today. If this series resonated with you, take a moment to reflect on this question. What is one need you can start meeting for yourself today that you once hoped someone else would meet for you? Because secure attachment does not begin with other people, it begins in how you show up for yourself. Catch me in the next series.